Okay, and here we go with the first story. You already see what it is, Interstate 95. Let's take a look.
So, man, well, from the corner of the low country to the tip of the upstate, South Carolina's population is growing, and so too are its biggest and busiest roads.
Now, right now, billions of dollars are being spent to do something many believe is long overdue, adding more lanes to crowded interstates.
State House reporter Mary Green joins us with the details from Jasper County, where leaders broke ground today on a major portion of that work.
Work will begin later this month on the first part of a massive project to widen I-95 here in Jasper County. With an estimated cost exceeding $700 million, this is the largest contract in State Department of Transportation history. And work just like it is already happening all across South Carolina. The gateway to South Carolina is growing.
This has been a long time coming in South Carolina.
And it's not just South Carolinians who are relieved.
I am right over that Savannah River. I know about that bottleneck that's there. I am so happy.
Leaders from South Carolina and Georgia broke ground Thursday on the project to widen the first 10 miles of I-95 into South Carolina from the Georgia border, including the bridge over the Savannah River, adding an additional lane in each direction. Then that work will keep going up I-95, with the state eventually planning to widen it up to where it meets I-26 and down from the North Carolina border.
The section of...
All right, guys, let me show you where we are talking about. This is huge for South Carolina. Let's take our handy map as we go over here to the East Coast. So as it stands right now, anyone who's traveled out here in South Carolina or up and down 95, you already know. When you cross that South Carolina state line from Georgia, when you get on this bridge right here, the Savannah River Bridge is what they're talking about. I-95 is 6 lanes or more through all of Georgia and all of Florida. But once you get to that South Carolina state line, you get to this bridge, it drops down to 4 lanes and the bottleneck starts. And you just get random slowdowns all throughout South Carolina up to this interchange they were talking about. Let's go back here. The interchange they're talking about up here at I-26. Yeah, see, look, you got it here right now. Keep in mind, guys, there's no major population center on I-95 in South Carolina, in this part of South Carolina. But look at this. You got random congestion for no reason. And if you try to go to Florida from anywhere up north on the weekends, South Carolina is the worst stretch. So I've been highly critical of Interstate 95 in South Carolina. So Jasper County is the first county when you cross over into South Carolina. So it's going to be this area right along here that they're talking about. So we're about to get some big relief. This is going to be a game changer. Now bear in mind, this highway has not been updated since it was originally built in the 1960s. So this is a huge change for South Carolina. This is a huge deal.
95 has served us well for decades, but it's time to bring it up to modern standards.
I-95 is one of 3 interstates.
And this guy here, Justin Powell, is the new head of the South Carolina DOT who is overseeing this transformation of South Carolina roadways. So he's got a tall task ahead, but hey, looks like he's doing a good job so far. So
Bring it up to modern standards.
I-95 is one of 3 interstates in South Carolina where crews are in the process of adding more lanes, along with I-26 from the Columbia area to Charleston and I-85 in the upstate. Interstates carry about 1/3 of the state's traffic, and South Carolina's Secretary of Transportation says they're the backbone of its economy.
In terms of moving people, tourists to our various destinations, moving our residents across the state for jobs, work, whatever it may be. But we really need it for our economic growth.
But long stretches of just 2 lanes don't cut it anymore.
When we built the interstate system, we had half as many people in South Carolina as we have today. And we're already on track to add, looks like at least another 1 million people in the next 15 years.
Secretary Justin Powell says interstate work that's under contract right now totals to more than $2 billion, paid for through state and federal funding, and a lot more is on the way. Down the road, the Department of Transportation plans to widen additional portions of I-26, I-85, and I-77.
Projects like this are critical not only for keeping up and keeping our prosperity and making sure goods, people, and services get to where they need to be, but it helps position South Carolina for the future.
And that was our Mary Green reporting from Jasper County. Work on many of the...
All right, so there you go. Interstate 95, the big one, the big clunker in South Carolina, is finally getting some much needed upgrades and investment from the South Carolina DOT. Now, before we get on to the next story, I do want to go over what has happened with this transformation of the philosophy of South Carolina's DOT, because before it wasn't just a matter of South Carolina not having money. They just didn't care about upgrading their roadways. They had some of the lowest gas tax in the South. I remember when I lived in Charlotte, you would drive over into South Carolina to get the cheaper gas, and their roads reflected that lower gas tax. So let's go do something real quick.